I started this week's project off by sanding 4 slats of pallet wood for roughly an hour. Once I was happy with how they looked, I then applied some black walnut Danish oil to the lighter slats and dark walnut Danish oil to the darker ones just to give the piece some contrast. Once the Danish oil dried, I noticed that it did not make the pieces as dark as I wanted. So instead of sanding that finish off, I decided to apply a coat of stain over the Danish oil. And to my surprise, the slats came out looking great. Katie wanted a frame around the slats, so I used a scrap piece of 2x4 from another build video to make her frame. I added a round-over profile to what would become the inside edge of the frame, and then I ripped the pieces down to their final width of 1.5 inches. With rain on the way, I decided to cut the pallet wood slats to their final length of 18 inches. Katie showed me what areas she liked the best out of each slat, so that's what I cut out for her. With the pallet wood cut to their final lengths, I used a framing square to get everything as square as I could, and then I started to cut the miters to build the frame, and then my wife came out to see how everything was coming together. With a 3/8 of an inch dado stack set up in my table saw to a height of 9/16 of an inch, and of course a sacrificial board attached to my fence, I took a scrap piece of pine and cut a rabbet into it for Katie Frame 2.0. It started to rain, so I quickly cut the frame pieces to their final length of 14.25 inches. I applied a pre-stained wood conditioner, and once that dried, I applied the same stain I used on the pallet wood. With all the pieces dried, I glued everything together. I let the glue dry for about 3 hours before I added a little bit more rustic charm to the piece. The next day, I applied a few coats of spray lacquer. With the lacquer cured, I attached the hardware to hang the sign. I pre-drilled and used a 3/4 inch wood screw and a washer. I like to use a small washer between the wood and the head of the screw if I'm going to use picture hanging wire, just so the wire doesn't dig into the frame. That might just be me, but that's what I've always done. With everything attached, I then secured the letter with Velcro so we could change it out whenever we wanted. My wife couldn't be happier with how the sign turned out, and, well, that's the main thing. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you haven't already, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any comments or questions about this project, please feel free to leave those below and I will address them when I can. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care and have a good one.